Hi, traders, and welcome to the PL Capital Weekly Market Review. I'm your host, Paul. This is where I use wave analysis to look at the charts to determine what could be the next wave in the market. As usual, we'll go over the S&P, the Nasdaq, and some select stocks. So let's get started. And we'll start with the upcoming economic calendar. Very quiet week as far as data coming out compared to last week. So Monday and Tuesday, we do have a whole bunch of Fed speeches going on. So you never know. I mean, they could all be gearing up one way or the other, dovish or hawkish, but just something to be mindful of what they're going to be saying. Wednesday, you do have FOMC minutes. So that always makes the market jump more than I think it should, but that'll be Wednesday at 1 o'clock. Just be ready. The market will suddenly just jump one way or the other. Thursday, you do have PMI numbers coming out, and Friday, durable goods. I don't really see any of this moving the market a whole lot. I think the one big mover will be NVIDIA's earnings. I think that'll have the biggest impact. So that'll be interesting to see the reaction when they report. All right, let's get on to the charts. We'll start with the S&P. And as I've been saying, I didn't think that this was going to be all the correction. So there is one pattern. They could be making a running flat. So this ABC could be the A wave, because I always thought that they were going to go up and then still one more down before heading back up. Because the way this started, it's not super clear. They're either making a really big, massive impulse, or this could be the B wave. And so we're going to have like a look like this, an A, B, and a C, and then take off still. Because this very much looks like 1, 2. So that this could be like an A, a B, and then here is the impulse. And so this could be like 1, 2, and I think this is 3 and 4, and then they're making an ending diagonal, because it looks like this is just 1, 2, and then this would be, actually I don't even think 3 is in yet. So I definitely see more up on the S&P, actually on both the S&P and Nasdaq when we look at it, but I don't see that the top is in, and then it's just going to be a matter of like, what is this? Because I think from here, I think all of this is one wave, but we still got this piece over here that, like I said, there is the potential that this ABC was just the A, and then the B wave did go and break the top. So for right now, I can actually move this over to here, because we've got a new all-time high. This could be the B wave. That, or they're making just a really big impulse and they're nesting it. And so it would be like 1, 2, and then this would be 1, 2, and 3, 4, and then they're going to be a 5. And this would be 3 up here, and they might just give a little correction for 4 and then go back up some more for 5. So I definitely see more up, because this wave over here isn't done. And then when they break this high again, this 53.49, that the reaction when it gets above that will help me decide what this is. Because if this obviously gets real strong, then I think this is B, and then they're making a C, and then they'll be going back up. But if, like I said, if it's just a shallow correction, then this is all just a big impulse, and they just nested it. So more up, definitely got to go break 53.49, and then somewhere above there, it's either going to make a short correction for more up, or it's going to be very impulsive, but then it'll go back up because then this whole thing will be turning into a running flat. So more to be seen this week. And with NVIDIA, it'll be clear what the heck is going on when they report what the reaction is up here. All right, and then when we look at the Nasdaq, the same thing. The way I have it labeled right now, I've got this as an impulse, but it's just like the S&P, that this could be like an A, a B, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the only thing that's very certain when we drill in is this from the 4 low. This is definitely an ending diagonal because it's just 1, 2, 3 to there. 1, 2, 3. And I think there's just this little 1, 2, and then, so I think that's 3. And now I think they've come down because this is definitely 3 waves. I think that's 4 of this 5th wave. So they're making an ending diagonal inside of this 5th wave. So that's why I feel very confident that they have to go back and break 18,760, and then that'll finish this part, at least this part, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then it'll be the reaction that'll tell me just what the heck this all is. So yeah, so on both indexes, I see that they have to go break the top at least one more time, and then the next wave should be down, and it's just, is it going to be just a 3-wave correction, or is it going to be a very strong impulse for the C wave of this very big running flat? Well, I guess they could make an expanding flat if they come and take out that C low. So some type of flat, some type of C wave over here. So yeah, more to be said when we get the reaction, when this 5th wave completes and we get the reaction there. So yeah, just more up on both indexes to break their highs, but then there should be some type of selling, and it's just a matter of how strong and how deep. All right, so let's look at some of the stocks. We'll start with AMD that we've been looking at, and AMD looks good for the short term anyway. So yeah, let's look at the bigger picture. So we had this big 5-wave move up, and they got really close to this purple box here in a 3-wave move. So there's a potential that they've corrected 3 waves, and now it goes to break its high. We don't know yet, and when we drill in, I do see that they completed 5 waves up today. So 1, 2, and then they give a little 3, 4, and a 5. So that's good. You got your impulse, and now there's going to be some type of correction, and they already came into this little purple box. So if they don't fall any farther, or I guess no farther than 158, and then go back and break the high, I think there's a good possibility then that they come back and visit that low over here, 141. Because that'd be a really shallow correction, and then that'd just be 3 waves up. And so this correction could just be starting like WXY, and then you have like a ABC or something, and then maybe one more low before they go. And then we'll have to see, this maybe all of a sudden can turn into a diagonal to go down. Who knows? But yeah, I'd only be looking to buy on AMD. Now, when we really drill in, yeah, I guess there are 3 waves. They came down 1, 2, 3. So, I mean, if you're a short-term buyer, you could always buy here, looking just to go and break the top, and then somewhere above here, you just got to be careful because it could be ending really quick. It'd be better if you could get it obviously a little bit lower, just, make more money, better risk to reward and everything. So, but yeah, they did make a 3-wave correction into a viable zone already. So yeah, AMD looks good to go break their high, but like I said, if that's all the correction and they go back up, I have a feeling that there might be one more wave down, or at least a bigger correction, because maybe they're making a diagonal, and when they go back up, and that'll be just the first wave, and then they'll make a bigger correction down for 2 before they head up north. So yeah, so like buying here, like I said, if you're short term, then that would make sense. If you're willing to just buy for here just to go break the high. But I think I'd probably let this play out, even if they go break the high. Let it correct again, and then be looking to buy. Should be able to get it under where it is right now. But AMD looks good, like I said, for at least a short-term trade. All right, going to look at Amazon, because Amazon's still correcting, and I've got the 5th wave being in, but we don't know yet. This 5th wave that could be just the first of 5 waves for this 5th wave, and all we have so far is just a 3-wave correction, and then there's a 3-wave move up. So don't know yet what is going on, because now you kind of sold off pretty hard, and then this just looks really corrective so far. So it could be that they're, making either like a WX, and then this will be like 3 waves for a Y, or this can be turning into a diagonal. So you don't know yet. So the 2 key levels are that 187 and 182, because a break below here, and then I'd be looking to buy, because it at least be going up. Like if it's making a diagonal, that was 1 and that was 2, and then they come down for a 3. Well, they got to give you a 4 if they're going to go down for a 5. So you could at least buy, and it might just turn out to be a break-even trade, or this will just all be, a WXY correction, and then off they go. So I don't know if I'd be buying right here, because this pattern's not, it's not clear yet. It's almost like I'd feel safer actually buying above 187 than buying here, because it might just go up a little but then fall, and then all of a sudden you're kind of in no man's land then. So those are the 2 key levels. A break of 187, and then I think this is going up in a diagonal, because then this 3 waves, that'd be 1, and then somehow that'd be 2, and then you'd be going up for a 3, 4, 5 to break that high. But yeah, a break of 182, and then it becomes a little. There's a couple of patterns that could be playing out, but at least you'd be in a better zone if you'd be buying underneath 182. All right, Freeport, we've been looking at this one, and obviously with copper going bananas, Freeport's going to do really well. And it looks, however, if I go out to like a 2-hour, it looks like, I can count 5 waves now, so that's the problem. So you got this one, this is all the way back November of 23 low. You got 1, 2, and then there was a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the 3rd wave. They corrected down for 4. And I do see 5 waves now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this 5th wave could be in, but I have it over here because I have a feeling like, look how big the 1st wave was, and how big the 2nd wave and the 3rd. The 4th wave was short, but the 4th wave usually is short. I kind of have just kind of doubt that that is going to be all for the fifth wave. I feel like that might be like just the first. Now I do see 5 waves, so I think at any point you're going to get a correction, and but then more up. So that'd be like 1, 2, and then they'll go up for 3, 4, and 5, and then that would complete that fifth wave. And then Freeport needs a monster correction here. So I like Freeport, but I think you got to wait for a correction, and it should be a pretty decent sized correction. So 54, 43, yeah, so 51-ish is where I would start to look for a buy setup. You know, if it comes down in 3 waves, then that looks like a really good play for a lot more up in Freeport. And you know, copper too. I mean, it's just been going crazy, but there has to be a correction coming. So I think that would match up nicely for Freeport. You know, copper will take a breather, let this cool off, correct, and then buy, because I think there's still more up. All right, Google. Google is killing it, and it doesn't really look like it's done yet, because it looks more just like 1, 2, 3, and then 3, and then 1, 2, 3. I don't think they're done yet. I only see like really 3 waves up. I think they're doing like some kind of diagonal. I don't see any like running flat or anything. So I think it's more just a series of 3 waves. So I think there has to be a correction coming at some point for the fifth wave. So I don't think Google's done, but I think it needs a 4th wave down and then to go back up for the 5th wave. So I think Google's nearing its end. You know, even if you get a 3-wave correction, I don't think it'll be real big. And so I think you're kind of playing for limited, because this will end the 3rd wave, and then they're going to come down for the 4th wave. So right now it's 154 would be the 4th wave. But like I said, I don't think that this 3rd wave is done yet. So yeah, we got to. I'd be more inclined to just let this one go. Like, even if they give you a 3-wave, it won't be a big correction. You know, maybe down to like in the high 160s. But then you have such limited upside, because I do believe that now this box will move when they go up for that 5th wave. So it'll move up probably into the upper 150s, but I'd rather be playing for that bigger 5th wave than this little 5th wave here. So Google still more up, but I think it'd be better. You'd be best served to wait so you can play for a bigger move up. Okay, NVIDIA. So this will be very big for next week. And I think it's Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday is their earnings day. So be ready for the fireworks on Wednesday and Thursday. And it looks to me like they're making a diagonal. And I think then, if we zoom out to a 4-hour, this will be going up for the fifth wave. And so this will be an ending diagonal. And so far I only see 3 waves. So, you know, clear 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 3, and then I think we got the 4 today. You know, they came into the zone for 4. Now this 4 they could drop it again, but I only see 3 waves. Unless this 3 waves is a correction and NVIDIA is dropping all the way down. You know, because this was a nice ABC correction into a viable zone, but there's nothing to say that this was just the A wave, and then this is like a WXY correction, and then they're coming all the way down. I mean, I guess if earnings miss or they give bad guidance, I guess NVIDIA could be making a bigger correction. But I mean, so far, this is playing out perfectly for a diagonal. They're hitting all the targets so far. So I like NVIDIA for one more up. Now, this 4, I guess it was pretty sharp. So you could get like a little correction up and then still one more down. But I think there's one more up. And it should be in a three-wave format. And it should be targeting like in the 1000s, 1018 to 36. But I mean, because of the earnings, it can definitely power past that. That's just a temporary target. So that's what I'm looking for, that NVIDIA's got one more wave up. And so it'll be interesting to see like what happens Monday and Tuesday. Like, do they keep it down here or do they go up already? Because I definitely would not want to be buying into earnings then if they've already broken the 973 high. Because then this fifth wave, it could be really fast, really violent. You get one of those after hours, it just explodes up. And maybe starts high then the next day, and then all of a sudden it's selling off. We've seen that in NVIDIA where earnings came out and it actually dropped even though the earnings were good. So we're getting close to what I see as a diagonal that could be an ending diagonal, ending of this fifth wave. So if you're a short-term buyer, I'd only be looking to buy to get into the thousands, but that's all it is. I think it's just a quick trade. Like literally, it's just going to be like until maybe Wednesday or Thursday. So be careful with this one. And Tesla. Okay, so Tesla, like I said last week, I can't believe that is going to be all the correction. So I think they've got one more trip up to 198 or near it, because we still just have three waves down. And when we zoom in, this is making me wonder, though, if this correction is over, because we've had this three-wave move down, and here is like a 1, 2, 3, and a 1, 2, 3, and then a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that could be like an A, a B, and a C, and then they're going to come all the way down underneath 167 before they head up. So I'd only be looking to buy, but you got to be able to withstand a drop all the way underneath 167, because I do see 5 waves up. So if they're going to be going up, it's going to be in a diagonal format. So this 1, 2, 3, so that'll be 1, that'll be 2, and now you got, this will be the A wave of the third wave, and here's and I don't think this correction's over. This sell-off here is pretty sharp. There's like only one little minor correction there. I think this might be like an A, B, C. So like 175, I'd be looking to buy there to go up for the 3, the 4, and then the 5. And that'll be interesting to see if they can reach, might not reach all the way up there. So, but it should get pretty close to 198 if they're going to be going up in this diagonal. Because 3 should be ending there. 4, yeah, they'll get pretty close. So, yeah, this is the thing to watch. Well, I mean, obviously, if they break that 171, then I think this was a correction, and then they're coming all the way down. And then it'll be just a matter of, is this like just an A, a B, a C, and then they're going to come back up? Or is it somehow that was all the correction, very steep correction, and totally down? So, yeah, keep an eye. I think there's got to be, let me clean this up. I think there's got to be one more down But if this gets really strong, I'd be very hesitant to jump into this one then. Because if they break that, I think they break 167, and then you got to be very careful on what they're doing here. But if this holds, and then you start to get a nice push up, then I think they're coming up for that diagonal for the 3-4 and the 5 up, and then there should be a pretty decent sized trade there in Tesla. So yeah, you'll get your answer next week, I would assume, because if it's going to correct, it should just drop and go. But if this keeps sagging next week, then I'm not interested in Tesla. Okay, and we're going to do Bitcoin. Had a lot of interest in Bitcoin in the Discord channel, so for people in Bitcoin world, it's looking good. Now they did just complete 5 waves, so I still think that off of that March high, you had a WXYXZ, because it looks very flat corrective. It could be a diagonal. I mean, no rules were invalidated, so this one, instead of WXYXZ, it could be that's like the A wave, if that's a leading diagonal, and then this 5 waves, that's A, B, and then they just completed C. So there is that pattern that still exists out there. And then they're going to be coming all the way down for the C wave before they take off. So that pattern still exists out there, that they're coming underneath, or very close to 56. So what I'd be watching for is, if this is 1 and that's 2, then this should be the first wave of the third wave. If you're a bull, what you want now is a correction, and the first zone would be into the 65.7 to 64.6. That'd be the first place to start to look for a buy setup. Now they could also bring it a little bit lower, but if this doesn't hold 61.50, if that breaks, then I think they're coming all the way down to 56, because then that's just a 3 wave. Now, I mean, I guess they could make this into a really big diagonal, 1, 2, 3, and that they just completed 1, and then they're going to give you, oops, let me get rid of this. This could be 1 up here, and then, what's going on? And then they could make a big 2 and then go up for 3, but I'd be a little leery of that. I think this has been looking very impulsive so far. You're getting nice 5 wave moves, so this should be 1 and 2, and then this should be the first wave of the third wave. So I'd only be looking for a correction for more up, but you know where your stop has to be, because if they break that, I think they have a good chance of going under 56. So yeah, it looks good. You got your impulse, and there's not really much divergence here. Let me look at this again. A little bit, actually. No. No, it's actually very even. This is on a 2-hour chart. So yeah, there's no divergence. A little bit on RSI for that 5th wave, which is fine. So yeah, it looks good. I think there has to be a pullback, just a matter of how big. And then if you're not in, this is a great place to start to look for a buy under 64.6, and then take it up. But just know that if it break that, you got to make a decision. Could be getting ugly if they break 61.50. All right, that's what I see on the markets. Hope it helps. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your likes and comments, and I will see you in the next video.